You know that you have a role to play, and you're trying so hard to do it. I see you. I see you trying. But your fear gets in the way. I know you're still afraid of something you can't name. If someone asked you right now what your biggest fears are, you would say lions and poison ivy. These fears you can name and people understand them. You are so afraid of being bad and getting in trouble, but this other fear is worse. This is not one of the kinds of fears the grown-ups understand. Not like lions or the dark. Even if you don't have the right words, you show them what you are afraid of. It's not your fault that they don't see. There's nothing charming about losing yourself in someone else's idea of who you should be, who they need you to be for the sake of their own sense of self. But we're finding ourselves. We're finding the words we need and naming the fears we couldn't name before. I love you, and I see you. Thank you.
Unshrouding the shame. I am not the mistakes that I have made. I am not a mistake. I am not something that needs to be hidden away because I make people uncomfortable. Why does this idea cut to the core of who I am? Why are we in a world where my mother needed a contract with a man to legitimize me? Why does the woman suffer? I want to believe that I am light, but the stories of my life are lies because I was the lie living it. My name is a lie, an actor playing a part in someone else's family. Did everything that happened to me before I came out of the fog really happen? Now that I've seen my face reflected in my father, I recognize myself. For the first time in 50 years, I can see my own face. As I heal, I feel real. And I wonder if anything before now is real. And I'm ready to remove the shroud of shame that was placed on my shoulders at birth.
My story has become a cover that I use to project the nice and palatable things, the things that others can stomach to hear. It's become pure entertainment where I take the listeners through the winding peaks and valleys of adoption while avoiding talking about the deep caverns and canyons that have violently torn me apart. The more exciting that I make it, the less they will show me pity or feel bad for me. I wrap it in laughter and tie it in a pretty bow. I want them to be entertained and distracted so that they don't notice that there is a crying baby who doesn't understand the legal system or what an adoptive parent even is. That there is a baby who is wondering if they even exist because there are so few people who can attest to their birth. That this baby grew up into an adult who is perpetually lost because my five senses were developed and curated in an environment that I no longer have access to. Another part fights back against the shame. Had I known, it says, what life would be like now, then I would have fought and fought and fought like hell. I would have held that umbilical cord for dear life. I would have emerged into this world screaming, don't choose to give me up. Don't choose for our beginning to be our ending. Don't choose for our first hello to really be our last goodbye. Choose me, choose me, choose me.
This is my attempt to put into words something that I go through that's hard. My half-brother, Charles, who lives across the country, texts with me on WhatsApp a few times a month. WhatsApp messages don't show up on his mother's phone bill, which is a good thing, because she believes adoptees are trouble, so much that she prevents her partner, my biological dad, from having any relationship with me. A genealogist, no less, she acknowledges I'm related to her sons, but we're all supposed to pretend my father doesn't know I exist. He goes along with this charade, even though he stole away to meet me once. Once in a while, Charles texts me a photo from our dad. Once in a blue moon, this biological parent of mine mails me a letter that makes me feel so at home and so comforted that I deeply crave more, kind of like dark chocolate covered almonds, which I can't keep in the house. A birthday card and small present I'd sent to Dad's secret P.O. box the month before had gone unanswered this year. How could it be, I wonder? I'd measured every word, every action. With no better answer in the end, I join in the silence. I plan to just leave him alone from now on. The adults involved in my adoption chose sealed secrets as their preference, which is the way it continued to be carried out for decades to come. I just demand to know, why is it taking so long to matter when everyone is agreeing that they know what is right and true and best for everyone else, that it's the adoptee who stands at the center of this equation? I'm not here alone. For that, I'm grateful. I'm so much richer for my fellow adoptees, the expressions shared through talking and writings, but also through drawings, songs, and poetry, give me solace and hope.
Adoptee and Healing, Chapter 1. Hear now the voice of one American adoptee who spent a lifetime searching for my identity. It took 45 years to find my first family. After failing through court petitions, private eyes, and the adoption registry. My original birth certificate, which had been denied to me, was unsealed after 25 years of advocate lobbying. It took decades to convince legislators that sealed records is a travesty and to explain the devastation of being a biological amputee. Why do we have to fight for the human right of knowing how we came to be? Our first chapter should be available for each of us to read. Yet the story is the same across generation and geography, and the people that hold the power continue committing the same atrocity. When will we stop denying adoptees their legitimacy and breaking through the pervasive and intoxicating fantasy that we somehow exist in perpetual infancy when the truth is a much more sobering reality? This journey has led to an epiphany that I must change the system that forever altered me. I am committed to healing multi-generationally, restoring.
For decades, we have seen reunions on TV, these touching, precious moments showing an adoptee and a birth first mother meeting in person as adults for the first time are very moving. These tear-jerking moments are designed to hook the audience in. The anticipation of adoptees meeting the parent or parents that created them and brought the adoptees into this world is heartfelt and uplifting. When the lights and cameras are turned off, the audiences go home, or the final editing of the shows or reunion series are cut, society does not get to see what comes next. The public does not get to see the emotional upheaval that happens when reunions have been frozen for years or decades begin to surface to our consciousness. Fear, doubt, anger, guilt, shame, and rage begin to show their ugly heads. And the once beautiful and heart-touching reunion becomes shattered dreams. The effects of trauma and the primal wound take over. I believe it is possible that adoption reunions are salvageable. I believe for this to happen, both the adoptees and the birth first parents need to be willing to put in the time and effort to work on themselves. Sometimes I wish my reunion had turned out like the Hallmark moments I grew up watching on TV. But that would be another lie, wouldn't it? And I, for one, am tired of the lies.
So here I am, this wonderful opportunity, a chance to be heard and perhaps understood. As I stand here, though, I crumble at a loss for words. It's an unsurmountable task to convey 61 years of pain, sorrow, and grief into 2 minutes. Today's my birthday. I chose to work, though, so I don't have to be left alone with the trauma my body remembers of that day. So I was leaving work. The question was raised, what are you going to do tonight? Without thinking or hesitating, I blurted out, I'm going straight home and locking the door so no harm will come to me. Listen to that statement. Happy birthday. Mother delivers a baby. The baby's me. The mother's mine. Her identity I will never know. Her embrace I will never feel. Her love I will never have. With my first breath, I am taught these valuable lessons. Everything is a lie. Everyone will abandon me. I will never know who I am. As I was whisked away to be forgotten, abandoned, and deemed illegitimate, my survival instincts kicked in and I'm crying and screaming. Please hold me. Please love me. Please don't let me go. Please don't take me away. Please don't do this. No one is listening to me. I laid still. I fall silent. So here I am with this wonderful opportunity, a chance to be heard, perhaps understood. But what if I make too much noise? What if I ask for too much? What if I make others uncomfortable? What if I say the wrong thing? What if you don't love me? The consequences are high. Danger is imminent.
Why does everyone get to make decisions that create loss and pain and abandonment in my life? Why do they leave? Why am I not enough? Or why am I too much? Why can't someone take care of me? I just want to be loved and taken care of for who I am, although I'm not even sure who that is. I've played so many roles in my life, which looking back, feels like a goal on my part to make sure that I was the right thing someone would want so they wouldn't leave. I know everyone involved at the time of my relinquishment thought it would be enough, but it couldn't be. She left me with strangers, good people who have done all they can to create safety and love for me throughout my life. But it didn't matter. There is nothing they could have done to fill the hole that was left when she left. I didn't realize how big and how vast and what it would really take to fill that hole until I realized and could actually name it. It's abandonment, the biggest, deepest abandonment hole. I was left and given to strangers. I wasn't wanted. I wasn't enough. I was too much. And while these stories may not be her truth, they became my truth. And the hole gets so big that not even a tourniquet will stop the bleeding. And sometimes when someone abandons me, I think I will die. But I am learning to heal the wound, to not just put a Band-Aid on it, but to mend and to give it time. And to
I am still here. I'm an adoptee, and I'm still here. To all those that bullied me in elementary and high school, I am still here. To those that made fun of how effeminate or flamboyant I was, I'm still here. To those adults that make me feel ugly or less worthy, I am still here. To my mom, who worried about my safety growing up, don't worry, Ma. I am still here. Hear me roar as I move forward within this world, spreading light and love. Listen to me sing songs of new beginnings and bliss, embracing in the sunshine after having endured endless thunderstorms. Feel the ground vibrate as I dance towards joy and silliness, embracing all of who I was meant to be, not who I was told to be. I no longer grant you power over me. I am still here, and I don't plan on going anywhere anytime soon.